Hi, today we're switching things up. So normally we're talking to blue collar about their jobs and what their job entails. Today we're talking about longevity injuries and how to sustain having a healthier life. So we're going to discuss that today with Dr. Brett Hill. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
Good. For those that don't know, if you could just explain.
You bet. And one of the things that's interesting about a lot of people that I see, I think it's important for them to understand what I'm not. A lot of people have this preconceived notion of, oh, a chiropractor. I just go in for my back, get it cracked, get out, and then they're going to keep seeing me. Yeah, there are some systems out there, and that's definitely not what I am about or what I want. In fact, a little like my whole goal is to get you so you don't need to see me. We focus on a lot more than just crack you, get you out. And it's all about the nervous system. It's really about getting your brain to get awareness of where your body is, what's firing and what's not, so that it can correct itself, so that you can be empowered to say, hey, you know what, I don't want to keep going back into these patterns of destruction or collapse, and resetting the body to actually have that support it needs to maintain good health. You know, that's one of the big reasons I went into chiropractic in the first place. Was I actually wanted to be a medical doctor, I thought, and they're great for acute care and different things, but for the chronic things, a lot of it's just here's another pill and okay, here's your symptoms, so here's what we give you for that. But it doesn't doesn't really fix the underlying problem with people and help empower them to still enjoy life while that process is still deteriorating or chronic disease process is going on. So with chiropractic, my goal was help the body to heal, fix the issue so that they're empowered more. And so that's what drew me into the posture focus that I have, and in the work that we do with people in office, but also online with people in restoring that foundational support of our posture system. And it's a lot more than what people think of just pulling their shoulders back. It's really their core system of aligning things so that they have power, they can generate power in their arms or their legs, or they don't have these chronic collapse patterns. So they're more prone for an injury or tension in their neck or headaches or lower back problems or plantar fasciitis issues. All of these things are often, the root of it is posture related.
You're probably aware, like a lot of blue collars in the morning, they'll go in and do stretches to try to like stretch their limbs before they go out on their day. Now, do you see a lot of injuries and pain that could have been helped like along the way if they began like at an earlier age of going into a program for stretches that we would see, just you would think of a different stretch that would help them to be more flexible?
Yeah, so when we look at posture and the specific things that we dial in, it's a little bit more than just certain stretches or go and strengthen your back. Those are good. And the more people move, the better it is. So the blue collar workers, definitely, you might be moving all day in little bits or things, but you're also holding awkward positions and twisting in certain ways. So stretching before work is great. The more you move, it's better for the nervous system in the body. But what happens is when we hold these chronic positions, or we're constantly repetitive strain movements from rotating one way, or always using the right arm and reefing on things, or fine motor control things, our brain adapts to whatever we teach it to do. So we'll get dominant in some areas and overcompensate in others. And your body won't even notice those changes over a period of time because it's just adapting to what your new normal is, because that's what you told it to do for day after day after day. So what will happen is somebody, and we see a lot of mechanics and electricians and plumbers that are doing work where they'll come in and they're like, yeah, I'm just always tight here. I've always got this shoulder problem. And if we just affect the shoulder, well, it'll feel better for a bit, but their brain and their body has adapted to pull that shoulder in that certain way so they can do their job, or they can hold that position and carry that bag or whatever it is repetitively over and over and over. So if we don't address their balance issues because they're imbalanced on one side, in how their spine is coordinating that balance control, their head tilt, or their other things going on, their body's going to go right back into that pattern. So movement in general is good. One of the things I would suggest is first getting aware of where these compensations are. And that's the hardest thing to fix, because a lot of people go to the, even if you haven't been working out and then they decide, I'm going to go work out at the gym and get stronger. That'll fix it. Well, actually, currently we've got, he used to be a bodybuilder competitively, and a blue collar worker who has this chronic hip problem that will flare up every now and then. And if we just say, okay, you just need to strengthen that, well, he's already super strong. Like he is built like a rock, but he doesn't know how to control some small muscles that are really, really important for establishing true stability so he can generate greater power and mobility. He's compensated and doesn't even notice it. The biggest thing I would say for people to start is get an assessment, like see where you're at, because you don't even know it. That's one of the first things we start with people is whether in office, we'll take the pictures, or virtually, there's an app people can download. They can have someone take a picture from the front and the side, and then they send it to us and we analyze that and go over a video call with them. So just having that picture, having someone take a picture against a wall or something where you're just off the wall, so you can have a kind of a framework of where straight is, and then measuring that out, because people might not know they're tilting their head or tilting their shoulders or where their hips are aligned. And once we see that, then they start paying attention. Their brain kind of connects a little bit to that to say, I notice that all the time, where they never felt that before. So to help people get that assessment, I would say have someone take a picture. Or another way you can do it is find a door frame, find a wall, and line up your back. So basically you're going to lean against that wall with your foot, maybe a few inches off the wall. Just lay with your hips, your shoulder, and your head on that wall. Now, if you have a hard time getting your head back against that wall, there's an issue right there. It means your head is normally here, and to get on the wall, you're probably going to tilt up or really find it difficult to bring it back. Your body's going to have to compensate to do that. So that's a good assessment for people to realize where they're at. And then what I say is, okay, with your head, shoulders, and hips on the wall, balance over on one leg, and then come off the wall about this much, so you're in line with the heel. Hold that for about 10 seconds. Balance is a really great way to activate the muscles along your spine, either side, the hip abductors, so the pelvis, and your core. If you think of just pulling tall while balancing, it's going to use your small core muscles just in a subtle way. And then after 10 seconds, 15 seconds, go back to the wall and try to slowly lean against it and see what hits. If your shoulders hit, but your butt and your head are still forward, it's a sign your posture has compensated. So it kind of resets your brain to sense, I need to stick my butt behind me more and my head. And this is a really important thing, because most people think they're aligned when they I don't know if you can, I'll try to describe it for your listeners, but you can maybe see me a little bit here too.
Yeah.
They say, oh yeah, I got to bring my head back. So they do this, but now their hips have gone forward and they've really collapsed in their lower back. What happens when we lose our postures? Our head will go forward. So then we tighten up these muscles like this. Our shoulders are back. So now we drop our hips forward, and now we have chronic lower back issues, or we have chronic shoulder tension and knots, because these are constantly pulling to hold our head up. So from the shoulders up into the neck. We have chronic headaches because these muscles get really tight. It can affect vertigo, things like that. And so getting a massage or just getting an adjustment can feel good, but it doesn't address the root cause of that problem. And if they're holding awkward positions for long periods of time, the body won't even know where that should be or how to fix it. So that's where I'd start, getting awareness, standing against a wall, trying to balance to feel that alignment of where it should be.
If we were to go to your online site, how would that process work? So they would come in, they would send the pitches, you would work through tests with different tests like you just showed. Then they would work with you on, would it be different exercises?
Yeah, so what we would do is first have a consultation. So when they go to our website, basically they just put their name and email to learn more, because we want to make sure they're a good candidate for our program. We don't want to waste people's time or money, and we want to make sure this is what they need versus, you actually need to go and get this addressed for a health concern or health reason. So we schedule a call to go over, okay, here are the steps to do that assessment. Let's go over some of your health things you're dealing with right now, any risks or things that might be a red flag where, hey, we need to send you elsewhere. You need to go look elsewhere. Or say, you know what, these fit perfectly with what we're going to do and what we can help with. And then we get them access to that app. They can then send the information to us, and we'll have a video call of what that looks like for them. And then from there, if they choose to go forward, is we have a 10-week program. And we've developed this over many years in clinic, where I just found, okay, we went too fast with people because I wanted to get results faster, but then they started compensating again and then ended up taking longer. And so we found this sweet spot about 10 weeks, once a week for 10 weeks, where we would meet with people. And in between that, they have certain exercises that they're going to do. Now, these exercises aren't about going to the gym and really feeling a lot of like, you're not going to sweat. You're not going to feel like, wow, that was a great workout, and then I'm done for the day. Posture is something we hold all day, every day. And so these are things we want you to incorporate in your daily lives. Some of them that people do, and we start with the head. In fact, for any of your listeners, one of the things we love to offer them just is 3 exercises they can get for free. So if they just go to yourpostureprogram.com/videos, give us your name and email, we'll send you a link for these 3 videos, 5 minutes a day. So it's not a lot, but if you do these consistently, you're gonna see a change, and it's gonna slowly start adapting in the spine and getting awareness. And so we'd love to offer those for free. Anybody that's interested, just start with something today, and that's a great way. The first thing in the 3 exercises we give them is, one deals with the head, one deals with the core, so the pelvic floor, and the third deals with balance, kind of like what I just mentioned. And that's a good starting point. Those are some of the first things we teach in our program. And what we do is we progress by first getting control of these muscles and movement patterns. And then we start building coordination through the head, the shoulders, and the core, the pelvic floor. Then we challenge the body a little bit more in building power through that as we get near the end. So at the 5th week and the 10th week, we reevaluate that posture. They send us those pictures again. We can see that progress, which is the best part, because posture is something that people don't notice when they're losing it. And then don't necessarily know how much they're changing as they're going through it. They can feel, yeah, I'm more aware of it. I think I'm using the right muscles. Like I feel better here. But when they see it, they're like, wow, that actually made quite a change in a short period of time. So it's really impressive, really cool that way. So that program is the cool thing I love with it, when we've really dialed it in, those that do it, those that are just consistent on like, okay, I'll do 5 minutes in the morning, I'll do 5 minutes in the evening, maybe a little bit during my day, I'll just add in like 1 minute of doing this and that. Everybody that has done that and consistently done it on their own has seen changes, amazing changes. Just the other day, patient that was finishing up, he's like, I can't believe, he's like, I made sure I did this every night. He's like, I can't believe the change that's made in my shoulder, in the headaches, and I'm able to go work out again and run again, where I wasn't able to do that before because of the pain and issues I was having. And he's like, this is such a change that I didn't think just from my posture would do so much. And we hear that all the time. People think it's too easy just by fixing their posture, but it really affects foundationally so much of people's health. Prevention for getting injured. If you don't have that good core support, we're way more prone for getting an injury, which then affects people's bottom line of ability to work, or they work in pain and then injure further. And that causes a lot more problems long term. I'm not saying chiropractors shouldn't go to them, but go further, take it further to like, you still need to go, and that's a healthy thing, but take charge of your own health by getting better and by understanding where your body's weak and strengthening that so that it's empowered. That's our motto, be empowered. And that's what we're trying to do.
If you strengthen your core, then your core will stay with you. I hear a lot that because work long hours, to go to the gym is too much, and their bodies get tired, a lot of pain, like you said, in these awkward positions for like a long period of time.
Yep, 100%. And that's why we designed this program, to try to don't think of them as exercises. We like people to think of them as like little activities. And if they just do one little activity here and a little activity there, at the max, I think we get 4 things, maybe 5 things that people are doing at a certain time during the week. That doesn't mean do all 5 of them at the same time. You might get up in the morning and do one thing, and then as you're waiting for your coffee, you're doing some balance stuff. And then later in the day, you do some, one other thing to almost like a stretch, but you're activating those muscles and really getting it dialed in to feel that strength in the back. And it kind of resets things. Though actually, that's the best way to do it, is as you break it up throughout your day to get these little activities in, it activates a reminder to the brain to build those neural connections. And you're like, oh yeah, I can use that muscle. I didn't realize I was collapsing or fatiguing in that. And so by just firing it for a little bit, your brain starts to get aware, and it starts to use it more and more and more. And it incorporates in how we sit and drive, how we lift something up. Everything that we do, we should start to use these muscles automatically and get them to fire. And it becomes easier and easier as we get through the program.
After the 10 weeks, that's basically the 10 weeks is to get them almost to like a point of where you almost feel like you're working different muscles, and then you just would continue on your own with the same exercises?
Yeah, so we tell people after that 10 weeks, and it varies in the fact of like how consistent were they on doing them. So if someone does it great, consistently through, at the end of the 10 weeks, we're going to say, look, this is where you're at. And somebody that's done that, we haven't seen amazing changes in their posture. And so then we say, at the bare minimum, we want you to do one of these every day. And ideally, I would say, here's the top three exercises or activities we want you to do, and just do them every day, just to keep that brain firing, those muscles firing, because it's easy to go back into the patterns without even noticing it. And so that kind of resets the body to stay strong in that way. And it's amazing, just keeping those habits. Doesn't take too long, and it keeps the body really strong.
I thought it would be nice to meet. It's always nice to have educational information for everyone, because it's something that you hear a lot of with injury.
Well, a lot of times too, people will not even go to a chiropractor or think of, I need to take this further to fix this, until after they've had multiple injuries or re-injuries, or they've been living with that pain chronically for a while. They say, well, I don't run anymore because my hip or my knee. Oh, well, I don't do this anymore. And eventually it's like, oh, I'm just getting old. We're not just getting old. We should still be doing the things we love. We just need to know how to get our brain aware of how we should be moving. The body can heal. We've just been compensating for too long and didn't even know it from a lot of times previous injuries that we've had when we're younger. And then we get caught in these chronic patterns. We have, stress, family life, work life, where we get tired and fatigued, and then we don't move as much. And then we fall into bad habits. That doesn't mean our body is breaking down and we can't do or enjoy the things we want to do, the sports we want to do, or the activities we want to do. We just need to know, where am I collapsing? Where does the body need to reset? And that's the biggest thing. I love giving people hope of like, oh, you know what? I can go hiking again, or, I can go back to work because I'm not dealing with this problem anymore. This actually, I feel like their vertigo can be a lot of times related to the way their posture system has been compensating, things like that. And so it's really cool to see the changes that we make. And so I want people to think, there is hope, and it can be as simple as fixing their posture. And that does not mean you just need to start sitting up straight. Those are big mover muscles. Yeah, you want to focus on the head. Everything follows the head. So you want to think of the head being up and slightly back. If you ever see someone tell you to do this, don't believe them. Your head doesn't go straight forward or straight back. It goes up and back, and then we drop our shoulders, and it's all connected. That's kind of the secret sauce with our program. If it was as easy as just, hey, follow these videos, we would just put it out there and people could follow on YouTube. The biggest problem is trying to follow our exercises. Everybody compensates into what they think is the right way. And so we help them feel the small changes in the muscles that should fire without using the big mover muscles, because posture is unconsciously controlled. Whether you're sitting there in good posture or poor posture, your brain's going to hold it one way or the other without you ever thinking about it. And that's what makes it so difficult to fix.
Another big factor that you had mentioned was stress. I know a lot of blue collar workers, they're consistently under stress all the time.
That's a really good point. And it's something we see more and more in our society, because we have physical stress, working hard, long hours, but there's also that nutritional stress. Like if we're not having the time to make good meals, and we're just grabbing quick food or eating out a lot. And then there's the sleep stress, and then there's the emotional or mental stress. So all of these things can build, and they all affect our physical health and our mental health and emotional health. Like they're all tied in together. You can tell when you're tired, fatigued, or someone, having a bad day. You can see that in the way they carry themselves, in the way they nonverbal communication, but their posture also is affected. Whether they think it or not, you'll see it in the way they carry themselves. And that's because there's a direct correlation with how we perceive stress and how our physical body holds itself. That relates in our unconscious control of our posture system. So a lot of times, we think of someone with anxiety or depression, we can see tension in our shoulders, or I got to sit up. I'm just tired, or I don't want to, or I don't care. Well, what if we changed our physical aspect? How would that affect our stress response? If we activated these through these simple activities daily to activate our posture in a healthy way, that also changes our brain's perception of that stress response. We're able to handle that stress or perceive it in a different way that doesn't wear our body down as much. So it's pretty cool to see, too, by improving our posture, what it does mentally for us in feeling more confident about ourselves and being able to handle stress in a different way where we feel more energy, even though the perceived stressors might not have changed that much.
That's interesting. I'm actually going to go on and get the videos and stuff.
You should. Please do. And that's the thing. It's not hard. It's building these habits, but it's about doing them and being intentional with them. It can make really big differences if you're consistent with it. And that's where we're here to help people. If they have any questions or they're just unsure about it, start with the exercises for free. Do those. And then, if you want just some guidance and get an assessment, you can do that. You don't have to do the whole program, but we can give you guidance on where are you at right now. And then if they're like, you know what, I want to take care of this and go further, hey, then let's go through the program. We'll take you through and we'll make sure you get the results you're looking for. So yeah, we're not here to push anybody. We're here to help people. And that's why we took it online, because we can just help so many more people. And it works. It works because I've done it in clinic and developed it over many years with people and trying to dial in the nervous system to help get them better faster. And it all came back to, so many conditions came back to your posture's crap and it's not firing. And that's why you're collapsing continually into this problem. I found it all compensated due to poor postural or this awareness of where our body is, that control. It's been awesome. Yeah, there can be a lot of people that can be helped.
Yeah, I'm be happy to share this.
Just the one thing for people, and it's easy to get stuck in like, okay, eventually when I make this, then I'll have the time, or when I get busy enough that I don't have to work as many hours. But the things you're doing today, if you wear yourself out now, you won't have the energy or the health to enjoy the money you've earned later on in life. So be intentional. Time is one of the most important things to me. We can't get it back. We can't buy it. Don't wait and then look back in life and say, I wish I had taken care of that, because now I can't, I just can't do that stuff now. The things you do now will affect you next year, 5 years, 10 years down the road. And whether it be good or bad, if we're doing good habits and things, it will make a big difference later on. But if we're also just burning ourselves out, overworking ourselves, doing that, it's going to affect us eventually down the road as well. So this is something we've tried to create that can just be little bits here and there to really help people where they're at now, but also long-term down the road to do the things they want to do and enjoy the things they want to enjoy. So
I feel this would also be good advice for people like just getting into the fields, like just going into a trade, because they're young still and they haven't experienced what they'll experience. So it's good to like get ahead of it.
Honestly, I wish I knew what I know now way back when, like going through university, I just killed myself. And I had this fallacy, I'm going to go to chiropractic school now and I bet they're going to be so ergonomic and have all that. No, you're in a desk studying like crazy, trying to cram everything in. I'm like, this isn't kind of the mindset I thought of like true health of. So we have to be doing that ourselves and taking that initiative for it. And it starts younger and younger. I mean, youth nowadays, they're doing this all the time, constantly. They're walking around like that. They're on computers. Like they're seeing that effect younger and younger and younger. It's a huge factor. We've done this program with people that are 11 years old and seen awesome results in their sports agility and support, lack of injuries and things for hockey players and other things. So it's been great.
When the head's like always down, is that like, would that also cause headaches?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors there. So when our head goes forward, there's a lot of receptors in our ear canals and these receptors at the base of our neck. There's actually the highest concentration of these. They're called proprioceptors. So basically it tells your brain where your body is in space. So if you close your eyes or you move your arm, you can tell where that is. It can control that without you having to look at your hand. So these proprioceptors, there's a huge concentration in our neck and at the base of our skull. And so when our head goes forward, these muscles that are supposed to just keep our head balanced against gravity now become constantly tight all the time because we still want to look straight. There's a lot of visual input. We don't look down, we look straight. And so they'll pinch a nerve that goes into our head, or they'll affect the way the jaw muscles will fire. And we see a constant imbalance here in the the muscles of the neck, but also because the ear canals are now firing differently, they're telling our muscles to tighten up in the back to keep us from falling over. There's a lot of neurology that happens just in that simple aspect of putting our head forward or looking down. It's a major factor. It's a major problem with balance we see older people with a lot of balance issues, and one of the leading causes of death is falls and fractures from falls. But we see a lot of problems with balance with younger population because they're not activating that. They're throwing their posture off and they're not getting challenged on their balance system. So their brain's working harder just to hold them upright. And we have a lot of other issues that are added to it. This is where I'm like, I can go on for hours about all the things neurologically about it. But yeah, it's a huge problem with our youth nowadays where they're just not aware of how important this is. So
Thank you for coming on.
well, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully people can gain something from it. Take something, like I said, go yourpostureprogram.com/videos, get those free videos and start there. Send us messages, send us questions. We'd love to just help you.
I'll put all the links in too. Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, you was awesome. Take care.